Snow spins beneath lonely streetlights as the city exhales into darkness. Another day folded away and forgotten. My name is Emily. I always believed kindness was a quiet, ordinary thing, a gentle ripple in the background. But on that night, as I stood behind a shivering old man clutching a loaf of bread, I felt a presence stronger than pity or duty. His hands trembled, his coat damp, and every line on his face seemed to hold 1,000 silent stories. I watched him count coins, first with hope, then with trembling resignation. His shoulders, heavy with years and disappointments, collapsed as the cashier announced he was short. "Just $2? I'm sorry, sir." A hush settled over the aisle, as if the world dared me to look away, to do nothing. My heart pounded. I imagined the path my parents had walked, the strangers who had once reached out to help when we thought we were alone. I stepped forward, pulse racing, my voice caught somewhere between fear and resolve. "Let me help," I whispered, the words sounding much braver than I felt. The man met my gaze, eyes watery, shocked, almost afraid. When was the last time anyone had looked at him? Really looked. He thanked me with a voice so fragile, it seemed the act of kindness might shatter him. That moment should have ended there. But in the silence that followed, as he shuffled out into the whirling snow, I felt as though invisible lines had been drawn, binding me to a story I didn't yet understand. Something ancient stirred in that kindness, something larger than fate, more insistent than chance. Did I sense, faint and far away, the echo of footsteps destined to find me? As the store's lights flickered out and I braced myself against the cold night, I had no idea this simple act would fling open doors to mysteries and fears I never knew existed. The city seemed to lean in, listening, and so was I. The wind bit at my skin as I walked home, but it was his broken thank you that haunted me. I told myself it was nothing, a simple gesture, not heroism. But the city's silence felt different tonight, pressing tighter, as if waiting for some unseen drama to unfold. I replayed the old man's face, his shock, his gratitude, the way his eyes darted around the store as if expecting someone to stop him. There was something about his relief. It felt deeper, desperate, a gratitude anchored in secrets. At home, I tried to shake off the encounter. Even as I cooked dinner and scrolled through my phone, my mind wandered back. Had I embarrassed him? Did I cross an unspoken line? My mother always said kindness returned in ways we never expected, but all I felt was worry I couldn't quite name. That night, dreams came in fragments. Coins falling, doors slamming, shadows peering through frosted windows. I startled awake, and for a moment, thought I heard footsteps outside my apartment. Passing cars, perhaps? Or maybe just the echo of regrets. Later, while making tea, a message blinked on my phone. Unknown number. No voice came through when I answered, only the faintest sound of breathing. I stared at the device, uncertainty creeping beneath my skin. Paranoia? Or was I being watched? Why did I feel, inexplicably, that a simple kindness could have complicated consequences? As snow built up on the windowsill, I wondered, was he safe now? Did anyone else know what had happened? I couldn't help but feel I'd crossed a threshold. In acts of kindness, we believe ourselves unseen, but sometimes the world is watching. Sometimes a small ripple is only the first shadow of a gathering wave. Darkness thickened as night deepened, the city's heartbeat receding into distant sirens and the distant hum of traffic. Alone, I wandered my apartment, jumpy at every sound. I kept glancing back at my phone, no further calls, but an unshakable sense that someone, somewhere, was tracking my every move. I checked the locks twice, then a third time, pressing my ear to the door. Was that a car idling outside, or just my nerves twisting small sounds into monsters? I tried to distract myself. Mindless scrolling, television glow, but everywhere was that flicker of the checkout aisle, the old man's trembling hands, and that unspoken question, why did he seem so afraid of being seen? I looked out the window. A set of headlights flashed and disappeared. My heart stuttered. Why was I afraid of shadows? Midnight crept in. The silence took on a new weight. Outside, 3 vehicles, large, dark, unfamiliar, pulled up and parked across from my building. Their engines hummed, lights stayed on, doors didn't open. Was this a coincidence? a gathering, or something meant for me? I watched with shallow breaths as figures moved within each vehicle. Flickers of movement, faces I couldn't read. This wasn't the ordinary world. For the first time, cold fear pooled in my stomach. Was this about the old man? Had I entangled myself in something dangerous? Who even noticed what happened in the kindness aisle of a local supermarket? The suspense crawled up my spine, refusing to be still. I wanted to believe I was imagining things, but the longer I watched, the less I believed in easy answers. Then, 3 sharp knocks echoed through the hall as if fate was answering a question I hadn't yet asked. I froze, breath caught, time suspended on a razor's edge between dread and curiosity. I opened the door a sliver, heart pounding so loudly it drowned out every rational thought. 3 strangers stood on the threshold, caught in the porch light, faces grave, eyes cold, voices urgent. The night, it seemed, was only just beginning. Adrenaline surged as I faced the strangers under the stark porch light. One, older, authoritative, took a small step closer, his tone gentle yet unyielding. "Miss Carter, we're here about what happened at the store." All the nerves in my body tightened. How did they know my name? Were they police, detectives, or something less official? I couldn't see any badges. Their questions pierced the silence. "Did the old man speak to you after the purchase? Did he give you anything?" Their insistence felt loaded. Less about information, more about searching for hidden truths. I tried to recall every detail. The way the old man clutched his bag, the small nod as he left, the peculiar gratitude in his gaze. I shook my head, heart hammering, anxiety sharpening every word. "No, he just thanked me. That's all." The lead stranger's eyes lingered, as if weighing my honesty. Silence pressed in. The others shifted, restless, scanning the shadows for threats only they could see. Finally, they extended a sealed, heavy envelope. No sender, no markings, only my name scrawled on the front in trembling ink. "If anything strange happens, Miss Carter, follow the instructions inside. Trust us. It's for your safety and his." Their voices carried urgency and care in equal measure, but behind their smiles was something unseen. Worry, or perhaps fear, that the rules of this story would not remain within their control. As they vanished into the night, wheels crunching over fresh snow, I stood alone under the humming porch light. My fingers shook as I clutched the mysterious envelope. Curiosity warred with dread. What secret had I stumbled into by buying a loaf of bread for a stranger? Why did simple kindness suddenly feel like stepping into the heart of a secret too complicated for ordinary lives? Even without opening the envelope, I knew one truth. What started as a gesture of humanity was now a mystery with me at its center. The suspense threatened to swallow sleep itself. Sunlight crept through the blinds, reluctantly chasing shadows away. But the fear inside me lingered. I held the envelope with trembling fingers. After a long pause, I broke the seal, heart thundering with the sense that the rest of my life waited inside. Slowly, I unfolded a faded photograph. 2 young men, arms over each other's shoulders, one oddly familiar. Behind it, a handwritten note. "Not everyone is who they seem. You hold the key now. Protect it." I stared, mind reeling. The older man. Was it my father, though decades younger? And there, beside him, the shivering stranger from the store. I fumbled my phone, dialing my mother. When I described the photo, her breath stilled. "Emily, that man, he saved your father years before you were born. We always wondered what happened to him after the accident. He just disappeared." Puzzle pieces tumbled in my brain. Had fate pushed my hand last night? Was the old man seeking someone to finish a story left undone? The questions only multiplied. If not for my impulse to help, would these strangers have found me at all? Why did the note feel both promise and warning? My hands shook as I traced the old photograph's edges, the echoes of 2 lives, mine and his, suddenly intertwined. I returned to the supermarket searching for him. The cashiers shook their heads. No one had seen him. Was I chasing a ghost? Or had kindness opened a doorway into stories thought lost? Each clue fanned the fire inside me. I couldn't let it go. In ordinary acts, we hope for simple gratitude. What if those acts are tangled with secrets, and the real cost of kindness is walking the path to their end? Every choice I made now seemed both miracle and mystery, fear and hope battling in equal measure for control of my destiny. Winter dragged on outside, but inside my resolve hardened. Eventually, my determination paid off. There he was, sitting on a bench near the store, hands folded, eyes alert. He looked up at me, and for a moment there was real recognition. "You came," he said, voice as steady as I'd ever heard it. Not everyone would. The bench felt like a meeting place for destinies, the present and unfinished past colliding. I sat beside him, heart thudding. "Who are you? Really?" He smiled, lines crinkling around his eyes, and began to speak, not in riddles, but with relief. "I was once like your father, lost, frightened, certain that kindness from strangers was the world's rarest treasure. He saved me many years ago, risking everything. I vanished because danger was close behind me. Sometimes, kindness must wait in darkness until it is safe to be seen again." He pressed something small and cold into my palm. A locket, its surface worn. "There's an address inside. Go there, and the risks you've taken will come full circle." As I took it, the 3 visitors returned. This time, their faces had softened, their voices less guarded. They revealed enough for peace. The old man had been in hiding, a critical witness to a long-forgotten crime. My act of kindness gave him the courage to step back into the light, to help right old wrongs. Tears stung my eyes. What had begun as a gesture in a checkout line had become a lifeline between past and future, strangers and family, wound and healing. Weeks later, as spring thawed frozen streets, the old man's story became headline news, a tale of courage and secrets at last exposed. My own life, once simple, predictable, had grown into something richer, threaded with gratitude and awe. My family reunited with his, old wounds healed quietly in sunlit kitchens over shared coffee and stories. For months, letters arrived at my door. Thanks from strangers, confessions of kindness passed forward, memories of times someone stepped in, changed a fate, or simply listened. Looking back, I understood. I had crossed a threshold, and nothing was the same. Lifting someone up, however small the deed, writes echoes that ripple through years. Sometimes you are the answer to a hope you never knew existed. Each night, I leave the porch light on a little longer, in case someone else finds themselves alone in the dark, counting hopes instead of coins. The memory of that old man's trembling hands remains, a reminder that the heart, a smallest tremor of compassion, may open every locked door, heal the oldest wounds, and reveal the mysteries waiting in the most ordinary acts. Sometimes, the greatest stories begin with a single word: "Let me help." And sometimes, what comes next can change everything, forever.